Hello, hello, hello. Okay.
Little one demands milk.
Ah,
He's not happy.
she might be sleepy.
He might be.
Has been a long day, so.
Yeah.
So we had a long day, and baby girl is very sleepy. Hey, Hatter, how you doing? Baby girl, it's okay. Okay. Don't forget to switch from top chat to live chat. That way you come up right on the thread. I have to share the things real quick. I'll be right back with you. Facebook always takes forever. Okay, and Twitter. Okay, there's a lot going on. There's so much going on. Gonna wait for people to hop on here. And I forgot to move the mic over here. Dope. Oh boy. IB4? What? I don't know what that means. You're gonna have to explain that to me. Hey Sharemare, how you doing? Oh boy, it has been a busy weekend. Oh, her graduation was good. We just had the graduation dinner tonight or today. And then we took the oldest to pick out a graduation present for herself. And it was a long day. In before. Oh, right. Oh boy. It's been a long day. A lot going on. All right, I'm gonna I need to remember to open these on separate tabs. I will be right back with y'all because I have an article that I'm going to read from. It's from The Guardian, so I don't know. I haven't been able to check this, but we're gonna look at it anyway. But we're gonna wait a minute for people to get in. My daughter graduates with her teaching master's this next week. Very proud of her. Wow, congratulations. That's a lot of work. Yeah, when I graduated with my last college degree, I felt like throwing a party and then sleeping for a month. It was so much work. So I might email T-Spiracy and see if she wants me to come on there and talk about growing up in a haunted house. That'd be interesting. She worked very hard, 2 kiddos, working full-time, got into the school system ahead of time. She worked so hard. That is, damn, that is a lot of work. That's a lot. So, triple congratulations. Hey, Leanne, how you doing? Wow, we have 6 people on here. Don't forget to switch from live chat to, from top chat to live chat. Right. I always get those confused. Welcome to everybody who's here. Okay. So I saw something on Twitter that kind of made me happy today. Like it was just a little ray of sunshine that I kind of needed. Don't know what's going to come from this. I haven't had a chance yet to vet it or anything. But I'm hoping that this is real. All right. I have to put this over here so I can see the chat. All right. Game of Thrones actor SMA Bianco sues Marilyn Manson over abuse allegations. Bianco accuses musician of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse after bringing her to the U.S. under false pretenses. Not once, but twice, if I'm not mistaken. The Game of Thrones actor, SMA Bianco, is suing Marilyn Manson alleging sexual, physical, and emotional abuse in a lawsuit filed in federal court in LA. Bianco says Manson violated human trafficking laws by bringing her to California from England under false pretenses of roles in music videos and movies that never materialized. An email seeking comment from an attorney who has previously represented Manson was not immediately returned. Manson said earlier this year that all of his intimate relationships had been entirely consensual. Allegedly. The lawsuit alleges that in 2009, Manson, whose legal name is Brian Warner, flew Bianco to LA to shoot a video for a song called I Want to Kill You Like They Do in the Movies. The suit says Bianco was expected to stay at Manson's home instead of the hotel where she had been booked into, and there was no crew, only Manson himself shooting with a phone. The suit alleges Manson deprived Bianco of food and sleep, locked her in a bedroom, physically assaulted her, gave her electric shocks, tried to force her to have sex with another woman, and threatened to enter the room and SA her during the night. The suit claims no video was ever released. Okay, so a lot of what they are describing is what she has described, what I have seen her describe and heard her say is that she was targeted. There was data mining, love bombing, ingratiating himself with her as a friend, right? She was friends with his then significant other. And he has a pattern, allegedly he has a pattern of kind of trying to target friends of significant others. A lot of abusers do this. That's why I'm saying this. Okay. And he'll do things and then put them in such a way as, oh, it's for art, it's for this, it's for that, as a mask. We keep talking about the masks. For art. It's just art. It's subversive art. It is not. It is abuse, is what that is. Okay. Manson is alleged to have again brought Bianco to LA in 2011 to appear in his feature film Phantasmagoria, though that project never materialized. During that visit, Manson is accused of not allowing Bianco to leave home without his permission, chasing her around their apartment with an axe, cutting her with a Nazi knife without her consent, and photographing the cuts and posting the pictures online also without her consent. It took Bianco years to understand the extent of Mr. Warner's physical, sexual, psychological, and emotional abuse. Her career suffered due to the deterioration of her mental health, the suit says. She deals with complex post traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, and panic attacks to this day as a result. Bianco, who played Ross in the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones, first made many of the allegations in February. She was one of several women who made allegations after the actor Evan Rachel Wood said on social media that Manson had abused her as well during their relationship. Manson's record label and agents dropped him at the time. A bunch of people jumped ship at that time. In response to the allegations in February, Manson wrote on Instagram that these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misrepresent the past, that is the truth. Okay. So, hey Sharon, Steven. I'm a little bit behind on chat, so let me catch up. I'm not here. Well, I'm not all here. I mean, that's why we call you Hatter, so it's okay. Electronic shocks, yes. I'll talk more about that in just a second. Hey, Michelle Marie, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Hey, Stacy Bobbles. I hope I'm saying that right, because dyslexia is a thing. Okay. So, violet wands. Let's talk about violet wands. Let's talk about BDSM for a minute and kink for a minute, okay? I think I got the lighting just right, so I don't want to touch the settings on the lighting at this point. But thank you for the eyeshadow. Those new brushes are phenomenal. They just make everything look right. Okay. So in the BDSM kink community, there are different tools and whatnot that can be used, and they can be highly pleasurable for the people involved. But before there's any kind of interaction, there should be communication beforehand about everything. What you like, what you don't like, what is a hard limit, what is not a hard limit, what are you maybe curious about, what are you not at all even remotely ever curious about, right? There should be communication. There should also be consent, and it should be very well fully understood what is or is not consensual. Consent is extremely important. Even if you have a situation of consensual non-consent, which is a thing, C&C is a thing, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, there still have to be boundaries and understandings, okay? And so in victims advocacy and in law enforcement, especially, working in the French Quarter, when we would patrol the French Quarter, we had to have a very deep understanding of the different communities we would run into. BDSM and kink are part of gay male culture. And also, there's a large BDSM community in New Orleans, and they will go to the French Quarter as well, right? So we had to have an understanding of consent, etc. It's extremely important for law enforcement to have that training, and victims advocates also. Okay, so if a person consents to one thing, that does not mean they have consented to everything, right? So if you consented to kissing or making out, you have not consented to intercourse, right? If you're into CNC, consensual non-consent, that's fine. I'm not judging. I don't judge. I don't kink shame. I don't any of that. Okay. There should still be boundaries and limitations in place, and there should still be like a code word or something that can be used to say that's enough. I've had enough. This is too much, or this has crossed something I'm not comfortable. Stop. Right. And that should be respected. So Manson says that they were in a BDSM kink sexual consenting relationship. If you're using any type of device on someone, anything, okay, it can be anything. It can be a vibrator, anything. And if it is at a setting that you're not comfortable with, then that person should stop, make sure you're okay, maybe stop altogether, or maybe see if you want to continue at a lower setting. Violet wands can be very pleasurable for people. They can also be a torture device. So I've heard people saying that these violet wand things aren't really that big of a deal. According to who? Because that's subjective, right? That depends on the person, okay? What one person likes, another person may despise. So you can't say that that's no big deal. How old was this actress when this happened? You know what? I'm not sure. If I remember, he's had so many victims or survivors. So many survivors have come forward that I think she was in her 20s. But he likes to go after younger women or teenagers, like, 16, 17, 18, because they don't have as much life experience and they don't really know how to advocate for themselves, right? So there's that. Okay. All right. So I'm hoping that Miss SMA's lawyers get an expert up there to talk about, different aspects of consent and abuse and what abuse is, because what she described and what his other survivors described, and it's not just partners, it is, staff, bandmates, friends, fans, roadies. There's so many people that have described him being highly abusive to him. And he has described being abusive to people too, right? So, and this is why I keep saying abuse can come in so many different forms, right? It doesn't have to be a person you're in an intimate relationship with. It can be a friend. It can be a coworker. It can come in many different ways. So he's a really good example of this. It kind of sounds like he is highly abusive to just, you know, that's why I say Marilyn Manson and his victims, all of them, because there are so many. Apparently, I might have also had a run in with him. I can't confirm that. And that was a lot of years ago. But, when I've got like, I don't even know, 7 or 8 people saying, that's that asshole. Apparently they knew him, so I don't know. But it just seems like here's a person who thinks that he is just entitled to do, allegedly, whatever he wants with whomever he wants, whenever he wants. And that's just how he is. Well, I'm hoping that Karma will send her regards to him. Just Game of Thrones, you know what I mean? Boss is gaslighting people. Yeah, yeah. Well, gaslighting is part of it, though, too, you know? Like, he says it's consensual and all this and that. Maybe he believes that in his mind, but really, he's just trying to gaslight everyone. Like, you don't do the things that he's done, and it. There are bounds of reason. Not everyone's gonna like the same things, right? So if I don't understand how all of his partners, in whatever capacity, all seem to somehow enjoy the same things that he just does repeatedly to multiple people. How does that work? He's used his fame and that power dynamic to take advantage of so many people and cause mental, emotional, and psychological harm to them. Yeah, it certainly seems that way. Um, I mean, if you look at many of the famous people he befriended, like Trent Reznor, can't stand the dude, and um, they had several falling outs. It wasn't just one time. Billy Corgan. I mean, there are just a few, and then there's the singer that he attacked on stage, and I mean, she was like bleeding from her mouth and stuff, like, and afterwards she was traumatized. Um, so he doesn't even give a shit. He'll just attack whomever, but then couch it and put that mask on under he's a subversive artist. Okay. No, he's just abusive. And he's abusive to anyone whenever he feels like it. You know. And when you sit there and you say that you abused your own mother, how, how is that something to brag about? I I just don't know. So throughout those years of him abusing people, just all kinds of people, okay? He had people around him who enabled him. They had to have known what he was doing, but they did not condemn him for it. Or, you know, there were some people that called him out and said they wouldn't have anything further to do with him and all this and that, and he was just a scumbag and whatnot. And Manson would couch it as, oh, we're just having beef or whatever. Okay, all right. Now, especially the people that were profiting from him, right? They didn't want to lose their cash cow. All right. Now, from there, we're going to go to the Duggars. Now, how in the hell do we get from Manson to the Duggars? Think about it for a minute. Instead of taking their son that was harming their children, their daughters, right? They protect the son from criminal charges, which he rightly should have. I'm sure they love their son, but when he's harming so many of their daughters, and at least one girl who is unrelated, right? He's harming all of these girls, and they protect him. It's a cultural thing all over the culture. There are men and boys who harm women and girls, and those men are protected all too often. So, as a culture, what are we doing? If you're famous, apparently you can get away with harming little girls and young women. Is that what we have decided? He actually admitted to abuse. Yes, in a book. He wrote a book, and it was in there. Um, was it done in an interview or something? That's unbelievable. Yeah, he wrote a biography, Long Road Out of Hell. I read a good chunk of it, and then I put it. It's one of the few books I have not finished. Um, and he just there was a lot. I mean, there was a lot. There was a lot in that book, and he admitted to abusing his mother in that book. Now, there are people who say, "Oh, he was just building the legend of being a badass." Uh, that's not a badass. What he described was him being jealous and worried that his mother was cheating on who? Wait, what? It's, it's there in the book. It's You can look it up on the internet. Um, a lot of interviews were just double talk. They were gaslighting. A lot of the interviews were actually gaslighting. You're seeing prime examples of gaslighting and manipulation, um, all of that. Yeah, yeah. And also trying to instill fear in any of his victims. When he's talking about he's got friends in low places, like gangs and shit. Um, I mean, if he did have friends in gangs and whatever that could help him with whatever nefarious things, they wouldn't want to after he said something like that on national television. Think about it. How smart they would have to be dumbasses. Do you see what I'm saying? He was trying to terrorize. He was trying to use the media to terrorize his victims, is what he was doing. He was threatening the lives and the well being of his victims in those interviews. Um, so that was abuse that you were witnessing. So, with, and it's not just the Duggars. I'm not trying to attack them, okay? But when, as a culture, we perpetually protect men who SA children and women and elderly people and whomever, right? Um, we're saying that men have all the value in this culture. Um, hold on 1 second, y'all. I think she fell down. She's had a long day today, and really, we all have. And we ate so much food. Oh my god, like kind of insane how much we ate today. Um, a lot of the interviews were, yep, I just read that, written by Neil Strauss. Well, I kind of feel sorry for him. Um, yeah, they basically put the blame on the daughters. I can't imagine what it's like for those girls growing up in a home where their abuser was put on a pedestal and essentially protected. Yes. Well, in that culture in particular, um, there's all kinds of victim blaming, victim shaming. Um, you're supposed to dress modestly and you're not supposed to attract the attention of a man or whatever, because if you do and something happens, it's your fault. You are behaving immodestly, right? Even if you're asleep, even if you're in your room asleep. Um, it's just so prevalent, not just famous people, but everywhere. Yes. And that's why, I'm talking about Manson. He's on one side of the spectrum, right? But then the Duggars are on another, right? So, all these people who are supposedly pedestal, pillars of the community, and they're normal, and they dress and look like you would, just normal, right? Khaki pants and whatnot. Um, and then Manson, who basically ripped off the goth metal scene with his look. I mean, in most of his different like types of makeup that he wears and all of that, I can point out where he came up with those looks from, and it's not him. It's another band. It's Robert Smith of The Cure. It's David Bowie. It's whoever. He just rips people off. Um, and these are just the people that you know about, right? Like Brock Turner, he wasn't a famous guy. He only became famous because of his crime, right? So before that, nobody knew about him. But I wonder how many other victims he has that you haven't heard of yet. Because I'm sure she was not his first victim, and she probably won't be his last, right? So um, it isn't just famous people, it's prevalent. Um, and things I'm sure they were told they had to just forgive and not talk about it. And that's just gonna, I would think, exacerbate any trauma, you know, that they've been through, and might actually make the trauma worse, right? I mean, I can't imagine. They weren't allowed to get any kind of therapy because their Bible and God would get them through it. Okay. It supposedly it's supposedly better than a therapist could. I'm so glad Jill is getting therapy now. Well, that's good. She was the one who started talking about it, wasn't she? Like, she seems pretty brave. Um, I'm pretty sure Jill went through a lot more than what we were told. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because they tried to downplay everything, you know, as much as they could, which to me usually says that there was way more going on. Um, so, hmm. So, in looking up, I can close this one. I don't need that anymore. In looking at different things, hopefully this is still where I need it to be. Hold on, the computer's being goofy with me. There are some podcast or YouTube content creators on here that are actually really good. One is the Sensibly Speaking podcast. They have several videos about like the world that the Duggars lives in. Um, what was that other one? There's another one that's really good. Hold on one second. I have to go look it up. Um, wait. Can't believe I just did that. I have to re-find it. There's another one called Fundy Fridays. I really like her videos, and she has a cat named Sekhmet. Love that. Woman after my own heart. Um, and she talks about like fundamentalism and all of this. Really good videos. Where? Okay, so the YouTube channel I think is called Chris Shelton. Shelton. And I'll put links in the Discord tonight. Um, for those. But yeah, they have videos that go into all of this stuff. They seem to be rather well um, researched. I'm still trying to find the original articles that I looked at for my paper. I'm just having a hard time finding them. Like the stuff I'm finding, it's like a lot of it seems to be copy and pasted or something. It's not well edited. It's not well thought out. Um, so um, some of those family members came out like Jinger and told Jill they supported her, and Jessa would shut Jill down every time. Wow, that's messed up. Her husband Derek has been amazing in the fact that he's helped her cope by letting her know it wasn't her fault, and he wanted her to get therapy. That's good. I mean, that's what a husband should do, you know? Yeah, I used to watch him. He does Scientology too. Yeah, he mostly focuses on Scientology. Um, and that's actually how I found his channel for a research paper for college. I think it was something, I don't remember. My 90s college back in the day, we got the exact opposite treatment. We got attacked for, okay, um, which is why he isn't a favorite in the family. He helps her be brave. Well, of course, he would get backlash because to them, you're supposed to, hide anything bad, right? Anything that they would think is not godly, right? I mean, we'll just ignore the fact that the son is doing some pretty horrible things that, by their definition, should be ungodly, but we'll just ignore that. You want to come say hi?
Sure. Bonjour. How you doing?
I'm still so full that I kind of have the food stupid stuff. Like,
I'm kind of with you. She's grumpy.
she's tired.
She's tired.
We had a long day.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Floating Head. Yep. No floating head tonight, no? A little bit of France at the beginning to show that I care.
I just don't like how the men have complete control over what their wives are allowed to do or talk about. Just, I mean, therapy would go against their teachings, though. A therapist would say you're being abused and this is wrong, right?
Yep.
So,
Did I just get called adorable by someone?
do you mean him is adorable? I mean, yes.
You do.
He is my teddy bear.
I have the gut to prove it.
Shoot, I have a gut right now. We eat so much food, and there's leftovers, and I'm like, am I still hungry or not?
I'm full. I think I'll be full for the rest of the night.
I know, right? We need to put that food in the fridge.
Yeah, I do.
There's a lot going on in the world today and on the internet. There's so much that I was like, what am I going to talk about? What am I not going to talk about? Like, there's so much that I'm just like, Jesus. I think they keep him isolated because, well, they don't want their deeds to be discovered. Yes.
Hey, Heather.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
We ate Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Everybody had a steak. Except for little one. She had a grilled cheese and fries.
And like French onion soup.
Oh, the French onion soup is so good.
Bloomin' onion.
The onion mum, yeah.
Yeah, and a baked potato and mac and cheese.
We all had a baked potato. All three of us.
I mean, I kind of need a crane, a wheelbarrow, and I don't know what else to move.
Pandemic weight? Oh no. See, I've had this belly since we had the little one.
Yeah, when
When she put on the baby weight, I put on the baby weight. When she lost the baby weight, I kept the baby weight. So I went from being 190 to 270. That was fun. 80 pounds. Well, technically during the pregnancy, I only went up to like 240. The last 80 pounds are my fault.
I don't remember how much gain. Well, is that I?
How much weight did you gain while you were pregnant?
Yeah,
about 40 pounds.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I put on 40 pounds as well. Got me up to 230. And then I put on another 40 pounds after the fact, which got me up to 270. Thankfully, I'm down to 260. Well, maybe not after all that food, but.
I love their Ahai tuna. Have you ever had it? Oh my god, it's so good. I wish I eyeballed it, but I'm allergic.
Seafood allergies, shellfish allergies.
Well, I do have an allergy to shellfish people too, so
this is true.
You know. Someone needed to keep it. That's how it's supposed to go.
Apparently, I put on your 40 pounds. That's what happened. The 40 pounds that you lost, I put on. That's where the 40 pounds went.
I think the isolation with being taught that natural feelings are wrong helps make that a breeding ground for this. That's why so many families in the lifestyle think stuff is normal. Yeah. I mean, when you restrict normal human instinct to that point, it's just.
Sorry, that's probably me doing that.
Yeah. I love you. Camera's just acting up. I got the lighting right, I think, but
that's bad.
The camera's just weird
still,
with it. What?
I love you. You're still super pale.
I'm still what?
Super pale.
I know. It will just always be a thing. I am the non-glittery vampire. And no dancing. I don't understand that. I don't agree with no dancing. And it's just not healthy to be so restrictive of what people wear and, down to what people think. You basically, it's like 1984 Orwellian, you have thought crimes kind of thing. I put on 50 with my first and got pregnant again 16 months apart and gained another 30. Wow. Can you grab me another pack of cigarettes, please, babe? You have the most gorgeous skin. It's perfect. I'm allergic to the sun. I'm not even kidding. I can't go in the sun. It makes me sick. And that's, I'm part Cherokee, but I think I'm the only person in my family who doesn't tan. So that's probably why I'm just like really friggin' pale, and I'm part Cherokee, so I'm aging really slowly.
So slow she ages. So slow she ages.
Dancing leads to those feelings that they don't want you to have. Well, just come to a pagan party because we get the drum circle going and the bonfire and
butt shaking everywhere.
Yeah, get the barbecue rolling.
We'll hop over the pyre. It'd be great.
It's supposed to be the dawning of the age of Aquarius, which means things are supposed to kind of change. And I'm thinking we just need to start having bonfires and shit.
And jumping over said bonfires.
Drum circles and.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's tradition. You gotta jump over fires.
Pale is hot. Well, I mean, for me, pale is wonderful because it means I'm not sunburnt to a crisp like a lobster, and I'm not like curled up in a ball crying. What?
The aesthetic from The Ring, perfect.
What?
Yeah. Pale skin, pitch black hair, perfect. Works for me every time.
She liked to kill people in gruesome ways, didn't she?
Nothing's wrong with a little psycho.
Yeah. No, no, no. Hard no. Pass. I pass on that. No.
Are we going to talk about your what happens at your family events?
Oh Lord, no.
Oh, I should say the one side of your family's family events.
Man, I think there's a reason that I've always talked so calmly and I just chill things out naturally, and that's because I typically had to like run interference with the mayhem that would be just like that far away. You know, it's a funeral. I'd have to be like, who's doing what, where? How can I,
diffuse the situation between Uncle Johnny and Aunt Karen?
Distract, Lord. I'm not even kidding. Funerals. I was praying people wouldn't die so that people wouldn't fight. Griffin's Nest Campground. Yeah, I've been out there. It's a nice place. Haven't been out there in forever though. It's been a while since I've been to any events out there. I'm late again, but hello everyone. Hey SJ and A. What the?
Jesus, motherfucker.
Can you turn that down?
I'll put it on silent.
He is extremely popular.
Well, probably none of that was for me at all.
Right.
Some of that was actually our Discord.
What? Okay. Go on,
Just
yeah.
3 notifications that got pushed to my phone now.
I know I have to start actually working on the Facebook group for this channel because, and then, we do have a TikTok now.
Yeah, TikTok.
It's not up on the About page yet.
Yet is the operative word.
We'll get on that. I have so much stuff to do.
All the stuff and the things.
And the junk. Oh, Lord. I'm avoiding Facebook. I have 250 notifications. Oh my God.
Thank you, Sharemare, for sharing the Twitter.
What? Yeah, thank you.
The Discord link. She shared everything.
I know, right?
Sharemare is awesome.
True. Oh, we need to start sharing the National Domestic Violence Hotline information as well.
Yes.
Put
that into the comments if you would share.
When we don't, when we talk about things like this. So,
I think Stacy Bubbles just joined the Discord.
Right on. Hi. Welcome to the goofiness.
Yep.
Sounds like my emails.
Yeah. I think I've got like 130 emails or something like that.
Well, I try to really keep up with the emails. Speaking of, I did email Captain earlier today.
Did you get a response yet?
I don't know. I have to check again. I emailed right before we left. And I just remembered I need to go check. Let me see. Nothing so far. Hopefully, Captain is okay.
Yeah. I've messaged Captain a couple times on Discord. I haven't got a response yet.
See, now I'm just gonna worry because that's what I do. I worry. I'm part of Sunshinery. Oh, right. I was gonna say, thank you to Sunshinery for giving us a shout out. What the fuck was
Firework, Beltane.
Oh, happy Beltane, everyone. We just had fireworks go off over here.
Yep.
So, just went down the TikTok rabbit hole this last month. Right. Oh yeah, so thank you to Sunshinery for giving us a shout out. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And just for those of you who don't know, my eyes are really sensitive to light, and I have 2 really bright lights over here. So I'm like, half blind right now. Um,
You can copy and paste the link from the Discord chair.
You have 1,690 emails. That's, have fun with that. I probably do too, because in my personal emails, I haven't even looked. Like, I don't want to know, actually. I'm avoiding pretty much all social media besides Discord, and this is the first time I've been on YouTube in a while, but Sharemira put the link in our Discord and I had to check it out finally. Right on. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah, there's been a lot going on. It's Wednesdays and Fridays on Sunshine Rate, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So
Okay, I'm gonna go back up front.
I'm also being selective on what I put my focus on. Yeah, so am I, because there's so much. Love you, babe.
Love you.
Can you grab me a pack of cigarettes?
Yes.
Before you dive into your D&D hole?
I can try.
You can try. Okay, I don't know what that means, Hatter. GTGTTFN. Don't know what that means. I never have notifications. I check them immediately or mark as read. I can't stand to see the notifications. LOL. I mean, we had weird stuff where people don't get what are they? The notifications that we're going live or have a video coming up or whatever. It's weird. And then we have people who are randomly unsubscribed, so they have to. Oh, right on, Stacy. Have a good night. So then people have to like resubscribe and all that stuff. Just, yeah. It's gotten way too toxic and I'm tired of the drama. I don't want to be part of it, but I'll talk about it privately with people I enjoy spending my free time with in Discord. Right. Yeah, I know. There's just a lot of backstabby stuff going on that's not what I'm here for. You know what I mean? Means gotta go and ta-ta for now. Oh, okay. Right. Oh, okay. Right. Now, Hatter might have to go to work or something, or I don't know. But yeah. Bye, Hatter. See you later. Yeah, I did, because I don't. A lot of time when people do the letters for things, I'm like, what? I don't know what half those mean. I just get mystified. I'm learning so very much doing this channel. Mass confusion, but it's okay. Okay, so part of the whole point of this channel is to point out things that are abusive, toxic behaviors, and to say that you don't have to put up with that. Okay, it doesn't matter who it's coming from. If it's a significant other, family member, brother, in-law, parent, coworker, boss, it doesn't matter. You don't have to put up with being treated that way. What Marilyn Manson is alleged to have done is in fact abuse. Okay, what has been expressed by survivors of him, down to a stylist who was a transgendered woman, that he was highly abusive to. So apparently Manson doesn't just hate women, he's also homophobic, transphobic, etc. allegedly. Okay. Um, Now, some people he won't abuse, and those are people I feel that he might view as being highly connected in ways that he could find useful, right? But even then, some of his ex SOs who said that he wasn't necessarily abusive to them, the things they have described, they were actually abuse. Okay, so they may not realize fully that they were abused. Um, or haven't come to the point of fully understanding what they went through, that what they went through was in fact abuse. And there's one in particular I'm thinking of. I'd rather not say her name. um, but she is absolutely gorgeous, and it is he, that dude reached up above himself, like I don't think he fully understands how lucky he was being able to date her. um, I'm embarrassed that back then I didn't even hit my radar when these men would date such young girls like Courtney Stodden. Which one is Courtney Stodden? Um, the human mind, when they've been through so much, needs to accept what they can when they can. Yes, yes. And not everyone is going to come to terms with being abused. You know, on the same level at the same time, right? So Courtney was groomed and victimized. Is she another one of his victims? Because there were so many that I quite literally lost track. She dated the Brady Bunch guy, Chris, who was married to Doug something. I may have to look that up. The one that married the 50-year-old at 16 back in the day. Jesus, I didn't hear about that. That I went through like a period of several years where I was on like a media blackout. I didn't watch TV. I would occasionally watch a movie. Um, like I just worked. I worked my ass off is what I did. Um, I was livid about the Courtney S one. I couldn't believe it could just happen. And what could I do to prevent it? Her parents signed off on it. Her parents signed off on a 16-year-old to marry. So, what did they just basically sell their daughter to him? Doug Hutchinson, actor, 51. Courtney was 16. Jesus. Tell me that's not a power imbalance. That's fucking. And let me guess, he said she was mature for her age, which is code for she's traumatized, more than likely. We all watched it and called her a ditzy gold digger. I feel so bad. Yeah, she just, at 16, she probably didn't even know what a gold digger really was. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember hearing anything about that back in the day. Um, a lot of the time when people say, oh, that, woman or teenager is just a gold digger, in my mind, that translates to you have no respect for women, and also don't understand the typical dynamics that are going on. And I don't mean y'all, I mean like the culture overall, right? And people drug Courtney, not Doug. They should have drug him. He's the actual adult. What the fuck? But that's just typical, right? That's this culture. Um, he's 51 years old. Shit. I mean, my grandpa would have been like What is wrong with you? You're 51 and you can't find a grown ass woman? Like, what? Doug had an acting school that she was a student or something, and then they had to move out of state for it to be legal. That tells you everything you need to know right there. If she was his student in an acting school, that is a very serious power imbalance, and there was probably a good deal of grooming, probably of her and possibly even of her parents. Shelley, if you look at a picture of her back then, many people didn't even believe she was her age. She was over sexualized. I'm not shocked. Sadly, that's just kind of standard, it seems like. What do you mean, like the people around them drugged her? I never know. I think we all evolve or should evolve, but I did judge her. It's shameful. Well, I mean, if you're going by, societal norms, you know, I mean, that's part of the reason I'm here. I'm hoping to get people to think, right? I'm hoping to plant seeds of thinking, logical, critical thinking. Like, I'm not condemning anyone except for people who deserve it, right? But when did this take place? This might have been during my media ban. Like, I only watched the news when it was something I had to pay attention to for work, basically. Like, drug her in the media. They called her all kinds of names. That's horrible. At 16, what life experience did she have at 16? Come on. He's 51. What life experience did he have at 51? Jesus. They married in 2011. Okay. So people in 2011 didn't see that and be like, what the fuck? 2011 would have been right around the time that I was not paying attention to like, even now I'm extremely selective of the mainstream news media, of like what I will watch. Like, I won't watch Fox News. You know, and I definitely, like, I had to write a paper where I used certain media outlets as sources, right? And that was one of the worst graded papers I ever had, because they wanted me to use a Fox News article or something. And I was like, there's no vetting here. This is not a valid source for this material. Like, I think there was a certain media culture back then. Yeah. And there still is, to a degree, right? Look up some of those stories. They're disgusting, and I'm embarrassed that we considered okay as a society until so recently. Yeah. And Marilyn Manson's ex-wife, I'm forgetting her, Dita Von Teese. Are you speaking of Dita Von Teese, the burlesque artist? I mean, she's phenomenal. And then there's Rachel Evan Woods. He had 2 wives? He's married right now, apparently. And from what I can tell, she's probably being highly abused. Allegedly, according to what I've heard. Otep Scheiße. Otep Samaya? I always have a hard time with her last name. The lead singer Otep of the band Otep actually put a video out of that would be Rachel Evan Woods. It was Dita Von Teese and then Rachel Evan Woods. Yes, he dated Rose McGowan before Dita Von Teese. I don't think that he wasn't married to Rachel Evan Woods. He was married to Dita Von Teese, and now he's married currently. So he was engaged to Rose McGowan. And thankfully, she got out of that. She says she was not abused by him. Last time I checked. But sometimes abuse can be a really subtle thing. It can be so hard to unpack, how you're treated when an abuser, when the good is so good and you've been through so much hell. Like Rose McGowan was raised in a cult, and it was highly abusive. It was a bad, bad situation. The same cult that River Phoenix and his siblings came up in. So she had went through so much by the point that she came to be in a relationship with Manson that I don't know if she was abused by him, would she really notice it? Because it wouldn't be bad to the point that she would consider bad. Does that make it? I don't know if that makes sense. I think he was. Yeah, I do too. I think he was engaged to Rachel Evan Woods as well. Yeah. There was a band called Garbage. I thought the lead singer of that was also dating him back in the middle 90s. I don't know. On that one, I don't know. I hope not. Man, God, I hope not. I can't remember her name. The lead singer. Oh my God, her voice. Okay. I don't know what happened to that band, but I do miss them. Like, I think he would, if he had been in a relationship with her, he would have been livid because I think that he despises anyone who is as talented or more talented than him. Does that make sense? Like, think about it. Rachel Evan Woods is an amazing actress. Dita Von Teese, oh Lord. Okay, she is phenomenally talented. So many of the women that he's been with are, SMA Bianco. Hello, she's in Game of Thrones. She's an amazing actress as well. What is going on with this camera, man? They're just he somehow he finagles his way into relationships with people who are just so talented. Trent Reznor, Billy Corgan. So Trent Reznor is the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails. Billy Corgan is the lead singer of. Why am I blanking on that band? How can I not remember the name of that band? Shirley Manson. Right. God, she was gorgeous. And her voice is phenomenal. I like to think that she wouldn't have given him the time of day. You know? Smashing Pumpkins. Right. See, yeah, okay. It took me a second. Yeah, so there was a lot that apparently happened between Manson and Billy Corgan as well. I don't know the whole story. I might have to see if I can look it up. But do you think he gets abusive when there's addiction involved? He seems to be a long-term addict. There's a lot going on there, but that is not an excuse. I think the addiction might exacerbate and bring forward more of the negative behavior. But yeah, it seems like from everything that I've read, there's a lot of addiction going on with alcohol, drugs, And I think the abuse itself might be an addiction. I think that abuse can be addictive. Okay, so some of you might be new here and might not know that supposedly, according to what I was told, I had a run in with Marilyn Manson. Now, I don't know for sure, I can't confirm that, but um, there's this club in South Florida called Nemesis. I lived in South Florida right around the time that Manson was first coming up, and I actually saw his first real concert at the Button South, and they had like a CD release party for their first album at like a record store that was all like wood. It was a really pretty place, but and he played like two or three songs. Like friends would drag me to different events or whatever. It wasn't like now. You didn't see things advertised on the internet. Like you had to know someone and word of mouth would go around and you know. So um and also at that time I was working security off and on for different club events. But this one night I was hanging out at Nemesis and this guy came up to me and I had this it was a necklace and it looked like a crown of thorns, but it was made of rubber, so it was like um, bendy. And the guy came up and went to grab me around the throat like this, right? And I have trained in martial arts for a while, and I did not respond well to that um, at all. But like it happened so quickly. It was just out of nowhere, this guy, this random person comes up and goes to grab me around the throat. I respond, defending myself. And then out of nowhere, the door guy, a couple, like two or three security people, bartenders, barbacks, like just swooped down on us, grabbed him, and like carted him off to the exit. And um, so I've been going there for a while. So I knew all these people, right? And the one door guy like apologized profusely to me. I thought I was in trouble. I thought I'm going to jail, you know. Um, and they warned me to stay away from that guy. And then they went around and started warning other women who were there, um, especially those of us who looked younger, um, to stay away from Brian, stay away from this guy. And he's changing his name now to Marilyn Manson. Just watch out for him, stay away from him, whatever. He thinks he's a big rock star and he can do whatever he wants now. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Um, there were a bunch of women who were warned about this. And it wasn't just at Nemesis, it was other clubs as well. So I was warned by a bunch of different security people about this dude. And then he hits big and he's this big rock star. And, he had some good songs. He had some music that I liked, sure. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, was that really him? You know? Like, and if it was, if he would do that to someone he doesn't even know, what will he do to someone he does know, right? Um, and for that reason, my boss in the security company wouldn't have a contract with him working security. And then he did things to security personnel. So there were several security companies who would not do a contract with him um, because he was just known for being abusive to people. This was known. A lot of this was known about years ago. This is not a new thing, is what I'm saying. Um, Not an excuse at all, but it might bring out the crazy. Well, it usually does. Um, but I think that a lot of the time it just brings out what is already there. Do you know what I mean? And just can make it worse. Um, Abuse is addictive. I never heard that before, but I can see it. I think it might be. Think about it. Endorphins, different chemicals release in your brain, and you become addicted to them. So, like serotonin and whatnot. If you think about how opioids affect the brain, right? I mean, I don't think it's a leap to say that being abusive could be addictive. Um, they warned everyone, but still allowed him to stay. Believe it. At Nemesis, he was barred. He was not allowed to come back in there. And there were three or four other clubs where he was 86. permanently. He was, even after he hit big, they did not want him in their clubs because of how he treated women, straight up. Um, and the one club in particular, the owner did not give a fuck that he was famous like, at all. Um, is MM a big guy? He seems tiny, but then again, maybe not. He's kind of what? Then he was kind of tall and thin. Um, let's just say that if you know the person who attacked me, it did not take much for me to get my point across. You know, and by point I mean my knee to his groin, and I lifted him up off the ground. So yeah, tall and thin. I have been to a couple concerts of his because like he opened for another band or something, and this is toward the beginning of their whole thing. He was a liability to them. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I'm 5'6". So I think I would say he's like probably around 6 foot, maybe a little bit over. Back then he was really thin though. And also he would wear those big platform like boots, if you know what I mean. So I could talk proper English, just not tonight. I've been doing that all day, so I'm right there with you. Um, oh, you just looked it up? He's 6'1". Okay, that makes sense to me. But he would, you know, I don't know if he just did it on stage, but he would wear those big platform boots. You know, he. Okay, so when they first came out on the scene as a band, he was like a weird combination of goth and rave. It was like, um, and he turned more goth after a while because that's the fan base he wanted, because that's the type of women and girls he found attractive. If you look at Dita Von Teese, she's like the goth queen, right? I have decided she's the goth queen. Fight me. Anyway, um, my brother was 6'3", but was muscular, so I guess he just seems taller than that. Right. Um, yes, decision made. Yes, I have a huge crush on Dita Von Teese. Um, she's my future wife, so if he hurt her, I will have to find his thumbs. Well, now I know he's like, thicker. You know, when you live that hard with the booze and the narcotics and whatnot, it's going to have a bad effect on your body. It just is. So, he seems to be larger now. Do y'all remember the rumor about him having ribs? Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think that was just a rumor. There's a lot of things that I think are just rumor, and they kind of obscure the actual, like, real problematic things. Like he's had a bunch of criminal charges and uh, civil cases brought against him for abusing people. So you get these people out here who are like rape apologists who are standing up for him, and I'm like, okay, well, what about all these cases where he like sexually assaulted people on stage in front of everybody? Okay. Yet again, that's a weird hill to die on, and I don't understand it. You know, I mean, so far he's had one person who's come forward to stand up for him, and she's apparently on his payroll. That doesn't say much good for him, you know? I don't know. there really isn't all that much good to say anyway. I mean, sure, he had some good music, but that doesn't excuse all of his behavior, his alleged, you know, horrifying things that he's done. I'm confused about Rose M right now. Anyways, why is that? She's been through a shit ton of abuse. Like, if you want some time, I'll talk about the cult that she was unfortunately raised in. It was foul. I can only imagine. Um, she has what? I, Leanne, I think your phone is going insane, just so you know. Am I missing something? She really has. It's so sad. I've always liked her. Yeah, she's a good actress, man. What was that? Generation Doom? God, there's so many things that she's been in that she's just really, really good in. And she's just really smart. But, I think at a certain point, once you've been through a certain amount of trauma, I hope she's in therapy. Um, she's one of those people I just want to give just a big, huge mama hug to, you know. Hugs are scientifically proven to help people heal. I'm a big proponent of hugs. I'm confused because she has been through so much with the cult she was brought up in. Then, after the Weinstein case, she was found with cocaine on her airplane. She said that was planted. Um, and there was a thing where she actually said she offered to like give them a blood sample and a hair sample and shit. Um, there was some sketchiness going on because Weinstein did hire. Um, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like Black Cube or something like that, which is a spy company, and there um, there was a documentary about it, and there's a book. Hold on, I have it. I'm trying to remember the name of the. Okay, it might be this one, Untouchable, which is on Hulu. I mean, there's been a bunch of stuff that's come out about him, but I'm trying to find the book. Um, Give me 1 second. The actress's son who investigated Harvey Weinstein. Catch and Kill by Ronan Farrow. Right, right. That is a good book. I highly recommend it. If you want to know more about the Harvey Weinstein case and what was done to Rose McGowan, check out that book, check out the documentaries. There's way more to it. I don't think that she necessarily was carrying those narcotics, if you know what I mean. Um, um, just glad these women are speaking up and taking their power back. Broken or whatnot, at least they can call it for what it is and put light on it. Yes, indeed. And they might have saved who knows how many countless women and girls from going through that as well, because he was prolific. Um, that's what I remember her saying. Then I kind of remember her pulling away from the Me Too movement. Well, I mean, if you have people targeting you like that, they would have done that on purpose, to get her, to shut her down. And if you check out the book, it's on Audible. Highly recommend it. Ronan Farrow narrates the Audible book, and it's good. That's the kind of investigative journalism we need, not this KJ bullshit. That is real investigative journalism. That's the stuff I'm like, yes, please. More of this, please. Sir, may I have another? And it's not normal for me to say that. Didn't she start Me Too? No, she did not start the Me Too movement. She kind of helped, you know, galvanize it. Hold on one second. Let us look and see who started the Me Too movement. Tarana Burke, a black woman with beautiful braids in her hair, I might add, is an American activist from the Bronx, New York, who started the Me Too movement in 2006. Burke began using Me Too to help other women with similar experiences to stand up for themselves. So, um, you know, it was, Rose McGowan and what's the other woman who was in Charmed? I always forget, Alyssa Milano, and other women who kind of propelled the Me Too movement. But um, after and recently she's saying political parties are just like cults, but they kind of are, really. Um, you know, Republicanism didn't used to be how it is now. Just back when I was a child. Same with the Democrats. It's gotten weird. Now you must be anti-abortion if you're a Republican now, or other Republicans get pissy with you, and that's cult-like, you know. Um, I just can't keep up with her. Well, I mean, she's really smart though, and it can be hard to keep up with people who, have a lot going on in their minds, and it kind of seems like for super smart people, sometimes they seem like a mad scientist, and you're like, what the hell are you doing now? But those are the people that usually can be catalysts for the change that is needed. I kind of think that to a degree, Dr. Martin Luther King was like that in a way, because he was talking about things that it wasn't, yes, it was the civil rights movement for people of color, but he was also talking about a people's movement and just a lot of things. He was way ahead of his time with, women's rights and just a lot of things. So I think Life of the Famous is a cult in itself. Yeah, I get that. You did not know what, because I just talked about a bunch of stuff and I might be behind on the chat. Yes, I am. Okay, good. And it's funny to me that Dr. Martin Luther King was murdered not long after he started talking about a poor person's movement, which would have brought all the different people together, everyone who was poor. I have always questioned that. I'm like, it's a little bit suspicious to me. And we only see clips of her speaking, hard to find the full content of her views and experiences. That's the media for you. Yeah, and with her, you definitely need the context, I think, because she's so smart. So she's not just gonna, you know, in things where I've seen her speaking, she's not just talking about like one thing or another. She's kind of she'll talk about how different various things are connected, right? So, um, I have to feed my boys. We'll check the beginning of the live later. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great night to you too. I'm gonna jump off here in just a little bit. Um, they only showed a part of the speech about the political statement. Oh, I'm not surprised. You know, it's kind of messed up, but I kind of wish she would write another book. Because that I can't remember the name of the book now. But the book that she wrote was actually really good. Um, and she put a lot of things into perspective. Because I've worked security for, you know, people I cannot name because NDAs. And the world we live in is a weird, weird thing. But anywho, all right, so I might do little like snippet videos on TikTok, so you might be seeing me on there goofing off or something. It's a little bit easier for me to figure that out than Instagram. Like I think it certainly is weird. I mean, yes. Good night, SJ and A. Um, have fun with your boys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Oh, there's a petition. I don't know if I told you all this. I probably did. Let me see if I can find it again. I think didn't I say share the? I shared the petition in the Discord for Jessica Easterly, right? We have a critter up in the attic. Oh God. You're welcome, Leanne. Okay, so I appreciate everyone who watches. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. You have the right to say no. Your no should be respected. And if it isn't, yeet that person out in the sun. And just because you said no to one thing doesn't mean you say no to everything. Okay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of the things. And also, we have on the About page, we have different social medias, all kinds of other things. And we have a Discord where we share all kinds of information and stuff and junk. All right. So, thank y'all for being here. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.